So, what's been, I guess, the key for you in this development? I mean, you haven't had a ton of opportunity, but like, how do you measure your success when you're kind of in and out different places and that kind of thing? Are you continuing to progress, do you feel like?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think all the adventures I got to experience last year were a huge blessing at the end of the day, and each opportunity helps to build your mental resiliency when you go into new programs, you're working with new players, around new coaching staffs. And so I look at last year as just an unbelievable blessing because it's allowed me to be a little bit more mature, a little bit more grown this coming around. So I think if you just phrase those things positively, they always impact you for better.
And this is where it all started.
This is where it all started.
Your long career has started.
Yes.
Is it kind of crazy? I guess, what does this shit tell you about their confidence level in you to kind of make the move they did? And it's sort of your position to win or lose.
I'm extremely grateful for it. I remember that was kind of my motto last year when I came in, was just gratitude, just being able to have an opportunity to come here and be able to kick and be able to meet all these awesome people, be around my teammates, and then that inspires you to give them your best every single day and continue to work hard. And then if you do give it your all and you do work hard, then you get more opportunities. And so I don't think I thought too far ahead. I got here and undrafted free agent, and I was just like, I'll just do my best and give everything that I had. And then because of that, I think that there was more faith and trust put in me, and I really appreciate that. I think that's one of the coolest parts of this program is that belief. And it inspires me to want to perform and do better because I have people that have my back and trust in me.
But then with all positions, but really kicker more so, when you get the chances, you've got to perform.
Mm-hmm.
So when you got those chances at 2 or 3 places, did you feel the pressure to perform, or just you embrace the chance to perform?
You always feel the pressure, for sure, but a lot of people have said pressure is a privilege at the end of the day, and that's the way I thought about it. Like, how cool did I get to go out there on that field and get a chance, to kick the ball through the uprights and perform for a team. And so at the end of the day, like, you do feel it, and the pressure does get to you, but if you're able to frame it positively and just look at it as a blessing, it always ends up being a positive thing.
What excites you about potential to be like the guy, the main kicker with the Colts?
Giving back to the program that's given to me. I think, like I was saying earlier, when you're given opportunities and people put trust in you, you want to perform for them. And I know that the NFL can be business oriented to a certain extent, but I really do want to be here. Like, I really enjoy representing the Colts. Like, I take pride in that. I'm from Westfield locally. And so the exciting part isn't that, I've earned this right to go out and potentially be the guy. It's, I've been given that opportunity. I want to make the most of it. I want to bring pride to this organization and the fan base.
When you signed this offseason, did you know, did you expect what was going to happen with Matt?
No, I was just focused on, I didn't even know what was going to happen in Kansas City. I was over there and I got injured and they kept me on injured reserve. And I was thinking March 13th or whenever the window opens, I'm like, there's going to be some interesting things that happen. And then everything kind of came out last minute, and then you have to make decisions fast. And just grateful that the Colts reached back out to me, and then I had the chance to come here. But no, I didn't know what was going to happen or what the moves were. You just kind of have to make decisions based on what you're given on a day-to-day basis.
What did lead you to choose Indy in the moment?
A lot of the reason, being here last year and being around Luke and Rigo and their professionalism and just the type of guys they are, and then the type of coaching staff that's been put in place by an organization that cares about character and values. I experienced so much growth here last year. I felt called to be back, that there was more to experience. And that's one of the reasons I came back is, last year was so exciting. It was such an awesome experience. I want to be a part of that again. I want to help that program succeed as much as I can.
Were there other teams that you had interest from back in March?
Yeah, there were 5 teams total. And so, you're kind of sifting through opportunities and, your agent's doing a lot of talking for you. And then in my heart, though, I'm like, I kind of want to go back to the Colts. And so it was really cool that ended up working out.
And so your family's here still, correct?
Sorry?
Are your parents here in Westfield?
They're up here quite a bit. So I have a lot of extended family here in Indiana. My parents are in Tampa, Florida right now.
Okay, that's right.
Brian Mason recruited you to Notre Dame, right?
Yes, he did.
How unique is it to be kind of in step with him back to the Colts as well?
Yeah, it keeps going full circle. You know, I had an opportunity to be with him at Notre Dame for about a month, and then he got the opportunity to come here, and he called me right away, and he's like, hey, you got to stay at Notre Dame. Like, you got to stay committed to Notre Dame. That's the school for you. And I just really trusted him through that process. I feel like he had my best interest in mind, and he had my back. And even though he took the opportunity to come here, like, he knew that it was going to be good for me to stay at Notre Dame. And then ended up going through that year and had some ups and downs, but overall just what an incredible experience to be at a place like Notre Dame. And then when I had the opportunity to work with him again, I'd already developed that trust and a little bit of relationship with him, and I knew that he'd have my best interest in mind and he'd want to help me succeed coming here as an undrafted free agent. And then now I get to be with him again, so it's pretty cool.
In what areas do you think you can still grow as a kicker? I mean, 5 for 5 last year, but obviously a small sample size.
Yeah, the thing, and this is what I've learned again from like Luke Enrigo and also Harrison Butker, James Winchester, the other guys I've been around in the league, is the best guys are the ones who show up and they have a humility about their work. They come in every single day and they almost act like it's day one or rookie year. And I just respected and I appreciated that. And so when you talk about like, well, you know, what is there left to accomplish? Where can you go? You have to come in like you don't know anything. You have to come in with a mindset that you're still learning every single day, that the only way to achieve growth is to find the small things that you haven't mastered yet. And I think that's the reason that guys stick, 5, 10, even 15 years in a specialist case, is that they're always working on finding ways to improve. I don't see a lot of guys who maintain a high level of play that have a real big ego about them and feel like they figured it all out. I remember I went into Kansas City and Harrison Butker, his reputation, and he's asking me questions all the time. Hey dude, like, how do you kick like this? What do you think about this? I'm like, why is this guy asking me questions? This is my rookie year. But it showed me that those guys they care about perfecting their craft every single day. So I feel like I have everything left to figure out and accomplish.
Also, the one thing again, if there's a criticism or skepticism, it's he's kicked 5 kicks in regular season. It's a small sample size. You can't do anything about that until you kick 5 more.
You just do your best with the opportunities that you have and that you're given. And you're always going to have criticism, and you're always going to have skeptics, and that's okay. As long as you're able to keep things in perspective and keep a positive mentality, I think that can be fuel at the end of the day. And so I just look forward to any opportunities that I have.
What do you think the cap is on your distance?
70. I hit a 70-yarder in the indoor. So obviously conditions play into that a little bit, but I feel confident about as far back as we'd ever need to kick a field goal.
What was Cincy, 56?
56.
Preseason?
I caught a little under that one though. It was a little bit of a rainbow ball.
Having so much change in your rookie year going to 3 different teams, but making all your kicks, how do you stay grounded and not let everything get so chaotic? Because that's a lot of change going here.
That's a really good question. I think it comes back to what a lot of guys have said before me. You have to place your identity in something that's not football. Because if you just go up and down with the tides of what's happening, how you're performing, you're never going to be steady. You're always going to be up and down. And so for me, I'm extremely blessed to have a strong faith. It's something that I work on every single day. I have a great community here in Indy where I'm going to Bible studies with friends. And I also have a lot of Christians in that locker room next to me that hold me accountable. And so that to me is my grounding mechanism. And then I make sure that I'm doing things outside of football that my identity isn't caught up in my performance. Because if you let it, it'll go up and down. It'll really affect you.